Hello. Some years ago I did a funeral at Bushbury Crematorium in Wolverhampton. One or two of you were there. We used the larger of the two chapels at Bushbury, and the place was so full it was standing room only. The gent we'd come to pay our respects to had for a number of years been chairman of his local football league, as well as occupying various other posts in Midland football. An energetic, outgoing man, always on the go, he'd done plenty we could remember and give thanks for. About 2 years later, I was in the same chapel taking the funeral of his wife. She was as quiet and retiring as her late husband had been outgoing and dynamic. She'd never gone out to work after the children had arrived, and knitting, crosswords and housework filled her horizons. She'd been in a care home for about 18 months before she passed away, and the family were quite sure there'd be hardly anyone there at the funeral. We've just printed off 20 service sheets, they told me before the service. The place was packed. People had attended her late husband's funeral to pay tribute to what he had done. They'd come to hers to pay tribute to who she was. A kind, loving, considerate lady. People sometimes say to me, sometimes when trying to excuse the fact they don't come to church, it's what you do that matters. Are you sure? What about what you are? In John's Gospel chapter 3, there's a famous passage where a man called Nicodemus comes to see Jesus secretly at night. He's a very learned man with lots of letters after his name, and he can't work Jesus out. Here's a country carpenter without even a GCSE, and he's healing the sick, raising the dead, and things like that. How do you do it? Asked Nicodemus. Verse 2, he says, no one could perform the miraculous signs you are doing if God were not with him. Read on in the passage and you'll see that Jesus doesn't actually answer him in terms of how do you do it. He answers in terms of what God does to us. Have a look at it and see if you can work out what I'm getting at. In this quiet period in our national life, you might be doing less than you usually do. But are you giving God time and space and opportunity to do something to you? If so, this could turn out to be the most useful time in your life. Bye-bye.